Structural design pattern in C#.NET. Structural design pattern explain how to assemble objects and classes into larger structures while keeping these structures flexible and efficient. In this video, we'll learn what are structural design pattern and its types in details. Let's get started. Structural design pattern is the second type of pattern of design patterns. It explains how to assemble objects and classes into larger structures while keeping these structures flexible and efficient. It has 7 categories. First is adapter, which match interfaces of different classes. Bridge, separate an object interface from its implementation. Composite, a tree structure of simple and composite objects. Decorator, add responsibilities to object dynamically. Facade, a single class that represents an entire subsystem. Flyweight, a fine-grained instance used for efficient sharing. And last is proxy, an object representing another object. We'll see all of them with example one by one. So first we are going to start with adapter design pattern. Adapter design patterns works as a bridge between two incompatible interfaces. This design pattern involves a single class called adapter, which is responsible for the communication between two independent and incompatible interfaces. It has 4 components. First is client, second is target, third is adapter, and fourth is adaptee. Client. The client can only see the target interface. Target. It is an interface, and this interface needs to be implemented by the adapter, and the client can see only this interface. Adapter. This is a class which marks two incompatible systems to work together. The adapter class implements the target interface and provides the implementation for the service A method. This class also composed of the adaptee, that is, it has a reference to the adaptee object. Adaptee. This class contains the functionality which the client requires, but it's not compatible with the existing client code. So it requires some adaptation before the client code can use it. It means the client will call the adapter, and adapter will do the conversation with required, and then it will make a call to the adaptee. Let's see the adapter design pattern with code. Say in adapter I have a class name as pizza, which has property as name and price. Then I have created another class, its name is billing system. Billing system has a method process billing internally, which takes the list of pizza and prints the price and name of the list taken from for each. Secondly, I have created a target interface which has a process build method which has a list of pizza as parameter. Pizza adapter is inheriting iTarget. So user is going to deal with adapter, and this adapter has a process build information which adds the pizza to newly created pizza from this list to this list. Means array pizza details will be added in LST. After that, we pass this LST for process build internally, which is this method, and it prints price and name. Lastly, we are taking lst.sum, so all price bill sum will be taken, so you will have the final bill. Now, in this, we have created pizzas list. We have added 3 pizza to the list. Cheese pizza added to the 0th position. Margherita pizza added to the first position and veg pizza added to the second position. So what we do, we create the instance of adapter, and adapters process build pizza is being added. So if we go back, you can see internally when we pass the array of the pizza, it casted it into LST or transfer all the data in LST and call this method. So adapter method is not going to call billing system. So this is how it is working between client and the code internal interfaces, right? And what output you are getting, say cheese pizza is 100 rupees, margherita 200 rupees, veg pizza 50 rupees, and all total is 350. So this is the output which you are getting through adapter design pattern. Second is bridge design pattern. Bridge pattern decomposes an abstraction from its implementation so that the two can vary independently. There are two parts in this bridge pattern. First is abstraction, second is implementation. The bridge design pattern allows the abstraction and implementation to be developed independently, and the client code can access only the abstraction part without being concerned about the implementation part. The bridge design pattern separates the abstraction hierarchy from the implementation hierarchy in two different types, so that change in one hierarchy will not affect the development or functionality of other hierarchy. Just for example, I have sausages machine for pizza which pours the sauce on the pizza and spread it. So we have already created one class pizza. It has classes which inherit pizza. The class name are cheese pizza, margherita pizza, and veg pizza. All of them inherit pizza class. Now I want to implement these things. So pizza creation process should start. Over here I have three different sausages for cheese pizza, margherita pizza, and veg pizza. The sausage machines provide different sausages for all three different pizzas. In the machine, I have buttons to select a specific sauce. So it will call a specific method, and accordingly the specific sauce will be poured on the pizza. On the pressing on a button, specific sauce is poured and spread on the pizza. This is your sausages machine. Now practically if we see, for specific pizza I have created one abstract class named as sausages machine, which has constructor which takes the pizza and it pours the sausage and spread the sausage on the pizza. Now this sausage machine is being inherited sausages for cheese pizza which implement pour pizza and spread pizza according to itself. And same way we have veg pizza, same way we have margherita pizza. Okay, now in client, say main is the client which press the button of the machine. So it calls the specific sauce machine. Say I have click on cheese pizza. So it will create the pizza factory accordingly and it will pour the sausages according to this pizza. So this is the implementation which is being called by client. But the abstract factory like pizza, cheese pizza, margherita pizza, veg pizza are abstract one. That is being not shown here and that is being separated from its implementation. So this is how your bridge will work over here. Next in this we have composite design pattern. Structural design pattern is the second section. In that third section is composite design pattern. A composite design pattern composes object into a structures to represent parts whole hierarchy. Composite clients treat individual object and compositions of uniformly. The composite design pattern allows us to have a tree structure and uses each node in the tree structure. Say I have first fast food name of class. It has two types, pizza and burger. Pizza has three types: cheese pizza, margherita pizza and veg pizza. Burger has veg and non-veg burger. So this is a hierarchy which we have created. So on the top level we will have uh, fast food. So the last one, we consider the last one as leaf, and the classes which has leaf are component, and we have compositions as well. So in this, leaf is going to be a class to represent the leaf behavior in the composition. Component, this is going to be an abstract class, an interface containing the member that will be implemented by all the child object in the hierarchy. It also implements some of the behavior that is common to all objects in the composition. This object class act as the base class for all other within the hierarchy. Composition. The composite define the behavior for the composition component which have children and leaves. It also stores its child component and implement add, remove, find and get method to do operation on child. The client manipulates object in composition through the concept interface. So if we see this practically, first we create the instance interface name as iComponent, which has a method display details. This iComponent is being inherited by leaf. Leaf has name and price, and it prints name and price of particular leaf with details, display details method. Then we have composite, which inherit iComponent, and it has name, it has list of components. So composite can have components and components can have leaf. Now in the display details of composite, it takes the name, it takes the display details of each leaf, and it is being concatenated in str, and we return the str over here. Now practically when we see, I'm going to create components like cheese pizza, margherita pizza and veg pizza. Same way veg burger, non-veg burger. These are actually leaf in my code. So it will have name and price. Each leaf has name and price. Then we created a composite class name as pizza. Its name we have given as pizza. Another composite as burger. Okay. So we have pizza. For pizza we are adding it cheese pizza, veg pizza and margherita pizza. Same way for burger we are going to add veg burger and non-veg burger. So we are moving from bottom to up. First we have leaf, then we have component. Above that we have fast food component as well. So we create composite, which is the root. We call it fast food and we add a name to it as fast food. We add component pizza and component burger to it. So when we call display details, it will give the information to you like this. First name is fast food, then sub option is pizza, which has sub option as cheese pizza, veg pizza, margherita pizza. Same for burger, it has veg and non-veg. So all this information is printed with fast food. So fast food is the class or is the component or composite which encapsulate all this information, which composite all these classes, and you can work with fast food to call all other classes. This is how composite design pattern works. The fourth one in the structural design pattern are decorate. Decorate design pattern provide a flexible alternative to subclassing for extending functionality dynamically. The idea of this is to wrap an existing class, add other functionality to it, then expose same interface to the outside world. Because of this, our decorator exactly looks like an original class to the people who are using it. It is used to extend or alter the functionality at runtime. It does this by wrapping them in an object of the decorator class without modifying the original object. So it can be called a wrapper pattern. Its advantages: it adds functionality to existing object dynamically. It alternates to subclassing. It is flexible design pattern. It supports open cross principle of solid principles. When you are going to use this, when the system has a legacy system, or there are controls, or the classes are sealed, so you cannot inherit, so in that case you can use decorate. It has component. It defines the interface to actual object and need functionality to be added dynamically to the concrete components. What are concrete components? They are the actual object in which the functionality could be added dynamically. We have decorator. This defines the interface for all the dynamic functionality that can be added to the concrete component. So what is concrete decorator? All the functionality that can be added to the concrete component, each needed functionality with one concrete decorator class. Let's try this practically. I have a class named as pizza which inherits cheese pizza. Also we have margarita pizza which inherit pizza, and we have veg pizza which inherit pizza. Moving further, now I am going to create a decorator class which inherit pizza, which has specific methods of the pizza class. Now I have few offers or services which extend the selling of pizza. So I have created double cheese pizza which inherit decorate class. Also I have buy one get one pizza which has decorator class which creates its own methods. Same way we also have French fries pizza which also inherit decorate class and which implement this information. Now over here we can see we have created instance of cheese pizza and we have given choices to user. If the user select first choice double cheese, second is for buy one get one free, and third is for free French fries. So when we create one, we create the instance of double cheese which is the decorator class, and this will call the double cheese offer. So you are extending the method with some special services. Same way buy one get one free has option second, and free French fries is for 3. Okay, now here I can see the all method things. I have selected 2. So it is going to take me to the special offer buy one get one free which I am getting here. Same way when I select 3, it says 1 French fries free. So basically it is extending the implementation and it decorates the class with the services. So this is how you can implement decorate design pattern. Now fifth in this, that is facade design pattern. Facade is a structural design pattern that provides a simplified to a library, framework, or any complex set of class. Facade patterns hides the complexity of the system and provides simple interface to the client. Just for example, I have a class named as pizza which has 3 types: cheese pizza, margherita, veg pizza. I also have burger with the types veg burger and non-veg burger. Okay, all these 4 methods, cheese pizza, margherita pizza, veg pizza, burger, non-burger, I am going to call all this method in fast food facade, and the facade will be called by the client. So actually client comes to the place and it asks me for fast food, and I have all these 5 methods to call or provide these type of pizzas and burger to the user. Okay, so let's see what we have. We have pizza, iPizza interface which is being inherited by cheese pizza, margherita pizza and veg pizza, which implement iPizza's method over here. Method name are prepare pizza, delivered pizza, packing pizza. All this information we have in different pizzas. Same way we are going to create iBurger, which has same method. Veg burger inherits iBurger, and non-veg burger also inherit iBurger. Okay, so our classes are ready. Now we are going to create a facade fast food, and it says type of iPizza and type of iBurger. This method calls the pizza number and burger number. If pizza number is 1, it says cheese pizza. If 2, margarita. If 3, veg pizza. Same way, burger number is 1, then it is veg burger. If burger number is 2, it is non-veg burger. So Facker is implemented all the methods of all the burgers and pizzas. Now we have few more methods which is being called in fast food, that is prepare pizza, packing pizza, delivered pizza. Same way, prepare burger, then packing burger and deliver burger. In this, it also has its own logic, and it also called pizza.prepare pizza, pizza.packing pizza. So it calls its class method over here. So Facade has all the methods combined in a single class. Now we'll talk about client. Client means main program. So what we are doing, we create instance of fast food Facade and we pass pizza number and burger number. Accordingly, it calls the pizza and burger methods. So your code is being reduced and it make easy to understand, and you have the output as suppose pizza number 1 is given cheese pizza and 1 is given for burger, so veg burger is the first burger. So this is how you can use Facade design pattern. 2.6 option is flyweight design pattern. What is flyweight? Flyweight pattern tries to reuse already existing similar kind of object. No matching object is found. Flyweight pattern can be applied in situation where we want to limit the number of object creation. A flyweight is a shared object that can be used in multiple contexts simultaneously. It has two concepts, in-string data and ex-string data. In-string data is held in the properties of the shared flyweight object. This information is stateless and generally remain unchanged. If any changes occur, it would be reflected among all the objects that refers the flyweight. Ex-string data is computed on the fly, means at runtime, and it is held outside of flyweight object, hence it can be stateful. Flyweight pattern can also apply in situation where you want to limit the number of object creation. Flyweight is a shared object that can be used in multiple contexts simultaneously. The word flyweight in software is similar to the word flyweight in the boxing, in which flyweight refer to a lightweight boxing category. In the same way, we have a lightweight object, not the boxer, which can be used at the various places in the system simultaneously. So now, let's take one scenario where I have iFood interface which is being inherited by pizza and burger. Then I have flyweight food factory which is being called by client and which tracks the limitations of instantiation of all these objects. Let's see this practically. So I have an interface named as iFastFood, and that interface is inherited by pizza and burger, which has a method as prepare. Now I have created flyweight food factory which has a dictionary with name and iFastFood. So we count the property with total object created. We take dictionaries count, fastfooddictionary.count. So it will return how many objects are there. Now getFood method returns iFastFood and which takes the type of food like pizza or burger. So here we create the instance of iFood and we check whether pizza, burger, whatever type you have specified in food type is contained the key or not. If the key is available, that type of fast food we are going to add in food. And if it is not, then we check what type of food is this. If it is pizza, we are going to create an instance of pizza and say add pizza. So the data of pizza and its type will be added to the dictionary. If it is burger, we create instance of burger and put that burger instance and name into dictionary. Now what happens? Look at the scenario. Here I have created flyweight factory instance and we pass the value to it as pizza. So food type is pizza. So first instance is created. Second time is also pizza, which is already in the key. So if it is available, this cannot be added in the dictionary. Now we add burger. Burger is the second type which will be added. Third time when we write the burger, it will not get added because it is already there. So we have created 4 instances, but you can see it shares object created are only 2. So flyweight allows you to restrict the creation of the object and it saves your memory. The 7th in structural pattern is proxy design patterns. Proxy design pattern is a structural design pattern that provides an object that acts as a subset of a real service object used by a client. A proxy receives client request, does some work like access control, caching, etc. The proxy object has the same interface as the service, which makes it interchangeable with the real object when passed to a client. Proxies delegate all of the real work to some object. Each proxy method should in the end refer to a service object unless the proxy is subclass of a service. So let's take one example. I have iPizza House which creates the pizza. There are 2 methods. Maybe Pizza House will deliver it or the proxy deliverer can be there like Zomato, Food Panda. These we consider the delivery house for this pizza. Okay, so what I did, I have created iPizza House which has a delivery pizza method. Real Pizza House is being inheriting the iPizza and which implement pizza deliver pizza method. It says it is delivered by Real Pizza House. Next, now I'm going to create a proxy delivery house. Like proxy delivery is done by Zomato or Food Panda or any other company which delivers the food. It is also inheriting iPizza. It creates instance of real house, real delivery house, and it takes the delivery house instance, put it into proxy. So delivery call the real delivery and then it is delivering its own type. It means real delivery delivers the data to the proxy and proxy delivers it to the client. So let's see what client is calling. Over here client is calling real delivery house. So real delivery house can also inherit this and it will deliver it. Whereas when we call proxy delivery, we pass the real delivery option over there and that particular house is going to call proxy delivery and that will be delivered by the delivery pizza method. So proxy is going to call the delivery methods. So this is how we have created proxy design pattern. So you can see in the both of them output, first delivery says pizza delivered by Real Pizza and second proxy says delivered by Real Pizza and Proxy Pizza both.